On October 22nd, 2013, Advanced Lesson Number 13, Part 1. Greeting Bridge friends, it's Michael here at BridgeHands and welcome you to our 2/1 lesson on slam bidding. Now we normally require 33 or more points to make a slam auction that will make 12 tricks, including aces in at least 3 of the suits, or voids I suppose, and a king or maybe a singleton or void in that 4th suit. So whether or not you play the 2/1 system, standard American, ACAL, or other popular methods used by the masses, in today's lesson we'll check out common methods used to probe for that coveted slam contract. Now, we can make slam with less than 33 points. We might have as few as 25, 26 points or so, provided we have something other than strength. We have shape. Yes, we could have 2 long suits. We have some short suits, maybe singleton or void. We don't have to have 33 points. We have our distribution shape to help us. Now, last week we sent out a survey via email to players out there, and many of you have already responded. We have several hundred responses already. Thank you for those, as well as your generous comments. We'll take a look at the aggregate responses that you've had on those 15 questions and some of our commentary based upon what I see out in the field today, and we'll go ahead and talk about that. But here at BridgeHands, we bid BridgeHands and play them. So yes, we have more than 15 scenarios, bids, things such as Blackwood bids, things such as cuebids, Splinter bids, Jacoby 2 Notrump bids, and others we'll talk about, and we'll go ahead and see how we can go ahead and play those once we've bid them. The proof of the pudding, yes, is in eating. Well, okay, let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of our slam conventions. And most notably, we started off our career by the Blackwood convention. Yes, that is where a 4 no-trump bid, normally when we have a suit fit in the major, we bid for no-trump, and the response to that is 5 clubs with 0 or 4. Our partner might have some kings, wants to make sure we have at least 3 of the 4 aces. And then the next step is diamonds, hearts, or spades for 1, 2, or 3 of the controls. But other methods are even more potent. That is where people play RKC or 1430. The first step, 1 or 4, 5 clubs. The next step, 3 or 0, and your partner should know if they're doing the asking. And the next step would be, once again, 5 hearts equals 2, but this time it's 2 without the queen. And the next step, spades, 5 spades, is 2 with the queen. And if your partner says, I like to play the other method, yes, you can start off 0, 3 for the first and 1 or 4 for the second. That's RKC. Always 5 hearts show 2. If you're playing these methods, though, it's 2 without the queen. Okay, then there is the Gerber convention. Yes, when we open 1 no-trump and our partner goes 4 clubs, that would be asking for aces, or even 2 no-trump, 4 clubs, or other scenarios where there's a jump to 4 clubs where the last bid was a no-trump and there's no fit. Then there is with a trump fit where we don't have an ace or a king in a side suit. We'd hate to be in 6 of our major and the opponents peel off the ace and the king, so we're better off using cuebids rather than using the almighty Blackwood bid when we are missing a control ace or a king or a shortness in one of the suits. And with a trump fit, we might use a splinter to show shortness. We'll speak about those jump bids, unnecessary jumps, to show shortness. And then we have the 1 spade or 1 heart opener, a major suit opener, and our partner goes to no-trump, the Jacoby 2 no-trump convention. Yeah, in old traditional methods, similarly, if we opened 1 diamond or 1 club and responded with 2 no-trump, that was just showing a hand that was perhaps conventional, asking for game. Perhaps it wasn't. Now, if you're playing standard American yellow card, a lot of people forget this, maybe haven't ever looked at the card, but 1 of a minor 2 no-trump is game forcing. That was the old methods. Now, if you're playing just standard American, not the yellow card, then you're probably playing that as an invitational bid after 1 of a minor. Same probably for the 2/1 system or ACAL system. But these days, if it's one of a major, one spade or one heart, two no trump, people like to play that as a very nice way to show 4-card or more trump suit, for most of us anyway, and as interest now in cuebidding slam. We'll speak about that at some length. And then there is one spade, 3 no trump. Well, if we use, for the 2/1 bidders, 1 heart or 1 spade, 1 no trump, and then a rebid of 3 no trump, that could be one thing. So 3 no trump in direct bid could be something else. We'll see how some of the people play that. Little tools. Quantitative no trump, that is where it goes something like 1 no trump, 4 no trump. If I'm at the high end, good 16 or 17 points, bid 6. Or 2 no trump, 4 no trump, same way. Quantitative type systems. The dopey system, which is where we can use a double if the opponents come in and bid, goodness forbid, above 4 no trump, where a double shows 0. A pass shows 1. The next step shows 2. That's normally at the 5 level, but some of you might say, well, I want to play the 14-30 method everywhere, so the double shows the first step, 1 or 4. The second step of a pass shows 3 or 0, or whichever system you play, and the next one show the same appropriate methods. Be sure you and your partner have a good understanding of that. Even at the pro level, some people have said, oh, we played dopey, and one of them plays it where it's just this way, 0 for a double, pass for 1, and the partner thinks it's the 14-30 method. So you need agreements on these types of things. The exclusion bid, which is where we have an unnecessary high bid, kind of like the Splinter bid, to say, I've got a void in the suit, normally at the 5 level, and what's the number of aces you have minus this suit? You don't need to know. You need some way. If you have a void in a suit, you don't want to bid for a no trump. If your partner has the ace and the void suit or not, it doesn't help you. So the exclusion bid can help us there. There are other methods such as the last train or the serious 3 no trump. Say it goes 1 spade, 3 spades, 3 no trump. No, it's not to play. It's not a match point bid. It normally people say, this is a bid I want to use to see how serious you are towards going to a slam. Is your 3 spade, assuming that's invitational, is it a good bid or is it not such a good bid? In other words, do you have a lot of controls? If you have 3 controls, a couple aces and a king, very good. Even 3 kings would be good, and maybe some shortness towards another suit. Minor wood, we spoke about that in previous lessons. If you go take a look at our video index, you can take a look at some of these lessons where we spoke about where we use slam bidding in a minor suit. And then there are situations such as when we make a cue bid and the opponent's double. Well, what happens if we redouble? Many people play that shows an ace. Others might just say it shows a first round control. That could be a void, couldn't it? In situations such as that, a pass if they've doubled, which might mean lesser value. Some people might play it shows a queen. Yes, once again, partnership methods are required. Well, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some other situations. Next up, we'll be talking about the Jacoby 2 no trump. Yes, our beloved Jacoby 2 no trump. That is where we open with 1 of a major and our partner bids 2 no trump. Well, first off, most of us play that shows 4 or more trump. Now, magic things happen when we have a 9-card fit. So when we have an 8-card fit, we can use other methods, but when we have 9-card, that is where our partner opens with 5 and we have 4 or more in the trump suit, then we can go ahead with our game values and bid 2 no trump. So one thing about that we should think about is general methods that we have are slow shows, fast denies. Now, if we start making splinter bids, it's probably, since we're consuming so much bidding space, the oxygen is being taken right out of the room for our bidding space, then we probably should have lesser points than we're doing here. We're bidding slow. We're only bidding to 2 no trump. So this should be one with our game values, 12, 13 points or more. Next up, what happens when our partner goes back to 4 spades? 1 spade, 2 no trump, 4 spades. Well, this would be fast denies, isn't it? So this would say, I don't have any shortage, and I just have a minimum hand, probably a 7 or an 8 loser hand, now that we know we have a partnership fit. It's the weaker type hand when we bid quickly to gain. Just like if it went 1 spade, 4 spades, you wouldn't do that with a strong hand. You would find another bid. So in this case, yes, a direct bid to game, or 1 heart, 2 no trump, 4 hearts, would say no shortage and weak. Now, if you are shortage and you have weak, then you don't use this bid. It's not just one or the other. It's both of them. Okay? Next up, 1 spade, 2 no trump, Jacoby 2 no trump, artificial, alertable, by the way, and 3 no trump. Well, there are some different methods. Originally, the Jacoby method was that it just showed about a 14-point hand, a true opener. Some people like Max Hardy said, well, it showed that you did have a 5-card suit and an average just minimal opener hand. But more modern methods would say slow shows extras. So if you've got a 7 loser hand, perhaps, and went here, then if you've got a 6 loser hand, you could bid 3 no trump. And once again, you're not short. It's one and the other, not or. So, okay, so much for that. How about if it goes 1 spade, 2 no trump, even less? Going down 1 less is 3 spades, since that was our first bid suit. Not short, and a very big hand, a 4 or 5 loser, one we'd almost wanted to open 2 clubs. Very strong interest in slam, but no short side suit. Once again, if we have a short side suit, we come up with another bid. 1 spade, 2 no trump. Now, regardless of our losing trick count hand, we bid 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, could be even 3 hearts, I suppose, to show that singleton or the void. That comes first. That is our first obligation, is to start cuebidding controls. This is the situations where maybe we've only got 25, 26, 27 points aggregate between the two of us, but because of our shortness and our partner then starting to cuebid their controls, we can start to find slams at a lower level without having to make those high level jumps where we've taken away too much of the bidding space. And 1 spade, 2 no trump, 4 of a suit other than spades, let's say clubs, diamonds, or hearts, that would show a second suit. Not just any second suit that's 5 card long, but one that's headed by at least 2 of the top 3 honors. In other words, it's a good chunky suit. I'd prefer if you had 4 actually. So, yes, you would use this if it was a very good suit, showing that you have a 2-suited hand, 2 fivers. Now, yes, you do have a short suit, so if you had like maybe King 5th or Queen 5th, something like that, even King Jack 5th, no, that's not good enough to show a self-sustaining suit or semi-self-sustaining suit. So don't show it. Instead, just show your short suit when you have a 5-5-2-1. But when you have a very good suit, then go ahead and show that. Okay, well, next up, let's take a look at some splinter cue bids then. Well, we once again want to have 4 trump, but if our Jacoby 2 no trump was used when we had 12 or more points, then it makes sense that we would be using our splinter bids where it is less than 12 points. So what are we trying to say? Fast denies extras. Remember, if it was extras, then we bid slowly, the 2 no trump. Now we're using a bid such as 1 spade, a jump not to 2 clubs, not to 3 clubs, assuming you're playing that strong jump shifts, but 4 clubs. Well, that is saying is that you have, it could be a bad 12, I suppose, but normally less than 12, 9 to 12 points, and 4 or more trump, and shortness in the suit. And if your partner goes 4 spades, that says, sorry, I just have a 7 or 8 loser hand, or maybe even stronger, but you don't like the fact that you're showing a shortness in the club suit. Maybe I've got ace king in the suit. Well, somehow that doesn't help me much. I'd rather have had 3 babies in the suit rather than ace king in the suit, something of that nature. All right, next. 1 spade, 4 clubs, 4 diamonds. Okay, I'm cooperating. Yes, I know you have only 9 to 12 points. You have some semblance of controls, I'm sure. And I am starting to show my control, and I have a control in diamonds. We don't know if it's an ace, king, or it could be a short suit also, I suppose. Probably not. But as a cue bid and still interested in cooperating for slams. So we're saying, partner, please show me more of your assets, the controls, those primary honors, in the other suits. 1 heart, 3 spades. 3 spades. Well, let's see. 1 heart, 1 spade, forcing. 1 heart, 2 spades. Probably a strong jump shift. I suppose some of you might play it as a weak jump shift. But 3 spades would say, well, it's more than a jump. It's a double jump, and double jumps, or triple bids if you want to call them that way, are saying it's shortness. So 4 or more hearts, using up an awful lot of bidding space, but that's one way to go ahead and show it. I suppose the person might have a 4-4-4-1, something like that. Otherwise, if they had a 5-card suit and game-going values, let's say it was up to about 12, they would just make a 2/1 bid. But with that 9 to 12er and a shortness there, I suppose that could be used also. Okay, look at some other ones. 1 heart, 1 spade, 4 diamonds by the opener. We're not going to get into a lot of opener rebids for splinters, but you can see that 2 diamonds would be just a normal bid. 3 diamonds would be a strong jump shift. 4 diamonds, something bigger than a strong jump shift. It is an unnecessary jump, so that would be showing opener splinters, saying shortness in diamonds, support of partner's space. And it better be 4, because so far they've only got a 4-4 fit, right? It's not like a 5-4 fit here. Okay, next one. 1 no trump, 2 hearts, a transfer bid to 2 spades. Bids 2 spades, and now it's 4 of a suit, not 3, not show cue bidding, but it's a necessary jump. This would show a splinter bid in that suit and interest in slam. Now we know the opener is 15 to 17, and the responder is showing a good description of the hand, looking for a slam. An opener can either cue bid or sign off. Okay, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades. Okay, well, if we're playing modern methods, such as advocated by Hardy or by Broadwell and Audrey Grant, then this would promise a 6-card suit. 4 diamonds. Now doesn't have to have a 4-card suit. Now we talked about splinters always requiring 4, but if opener has rebid the suit showing 6er, then you could do it with a 3-card suit, couldn't you? All right, and last one. 1 heart, passed by the opponent. 3 hearts, assuming we're playing that as invitational. Let's say 3 spades, the opponent comes in. Then a 4-spade bid would show less than a singleton here. I believe it should show a void. Some of these are where you cue bid the opponent's suit at the 3 level, and that we normally play as just the Western cue bid, saying, partner, if you have a stopper in that suit, then let's go ahead. But when it's above the 3 no trump, this is normally showing a void in an auction like this. Okay, next up, 5 level major suit slam ask. This is an advanced method. You may not remember it, and your partner may not remember it, so unless you play a lot, you may not want to get into this, but for those of you who are regular duplicate players, good on you, here you go. Okay, after a major suit agreement and a 5 heart or 5 spade jump bid, ask for controls. Scenario number 1 of 3. Opponent is silent and there are no side suit calls by us. Then that would ask partner whether they have 2 of the top 3 in the suit. So let's say it was 1 spade, 3 spades, 5 spades. Yes, there could probably be more elegant ways to show it, but 5 spades would say, I don't have the ace or the king. Do you have 2 of the top 3? If you do, go ahead and bid to the 6th level. If you're missing the ace and the king, fine. Others of you would probably use some kind of a splinter bid, maybe an exclusion bid if you know it, but this is another method to go ahead and bid for those of you who play that method. Okay, scenario number 2. If the opponents have bid a suit, now it asks for a second round of control in the opponent's suit. Obviously, then the person who's asking this by bidding 5 of the opponent's suit, let's say it's 1 spade, 3 spade, 4 hearts, 5 spades. We've got a doubleton in the heart suit and we don't feel very strong about it. So that would be a scenario where we're jumping after they bid a suit to say, do you have a second round of control? Second round of control? Obviously a first round would be nice with the ace or void. Second round of control would be king doubleton or a singleton would do it, wouldn't it? Third scenario. If only one side suit is unbid by us, in other words, we've bid 3 suits getting there, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 hearts, and so on, then bidding 5 spades would say, do you have a second round of control in that unbid suit? Nice methods, aren't they, for those of you who will remember it. For one of you who don't remember it, not such a great method though, is it? And it's never meant to just be an interference bid in the situations. Okay, how about with a king doubleton? Well, what would you do there? Would you go ahead and be willing to bid 5 no trump? Think about it. Your partners ask you if you had a second round of control, and you do have a king doubleton. Well, if they come around the other side of you and come through you, it's not going to be such a happy day, is it? But if it turns out they lead that suit, and I guess, yes, you should alert it. It's artificial. I think that's one of those that is post-alertable, though, at the 5 level. So before they make their opening lead is when you do it. You don't want to do it before. You don't want to wake up your partner. So you wait till after the auction is over, and then you explain what the meaning of it was, one of those 3 types of jumps to the 5 level. But yeah, you might consider using with a king doubleton is saying, I'll bid 5 no trump, and maybe your partner wants to go to 6 no trump, lead's coming to you, or saying, yes, we're going to be at 6 of our agreed upon contract. And next up, let's go ahead and take a look at our exclusion Blackwood or voidwood, as some of you might like to call it. This would be at unusual jump, normally at the 5 level, but it could be with a 8 denomination rank jump. We'll talk about that in a moment. That is in the side suits. And it asks for aces, except for that bid suit, such as 1 heart, 3 hearts, or 1 spade, 3 spades. Going to a 5 level bid, that would say, tell me about the number of aces, but I don't care about the aces in that bid suit, the club suit in this situation. How about 1 heart, 3 hearts, 4 spades? Well, that isn't an 8 denomination jump. Now we include no trump, so there's 5 steps to get back to the same level. So if you're not playing the 8 denomination raise, then yes, if you want to play auctions like this as being exclusion, seems to make sense, I suppose, but make sure you get your partnership agreements. Exclusion bids can be nasty if you don't have agreements. How about this one? If you're playing game force inverted minors, that is, if you're playing the crisscross bids to show the invitational 1 diamond, 3 clubs, or 1 club, 2 diamonds to show something less than a game forcing, whereas then you can use 1 club, 2 clubs, or 1 diamond, 2 diamonds is showing game forcing values, meaning the partnership has 25 points or more. Then I suppose you could go ahead and play 3 spades as being a voidwood or exclusion blackwood, if you will. It's an unnecessary jump. Others might think, oh, they must be that I've got a half stopper in the spade suit, well, you probably ought to be cuebidding other controls, so we get into partnership style, don't we? Yes. Long live Exclusion Blackwoods and other void conventions. You've never really lived until you have a 2-1 trump fit with your partner over a partnership misunderstanding. But hopefully that only happens once in your career. Will for most of us. Okay, next would be void responses to a Blackwood. Now you probably picked those up earlier in your career, but let's go ahead and describe them just to be sure we've got them all down. So this would be a useful void, not just a void, but a useful void and an even number of controls. Then we respond 5 no trump. That is, when we have an even number of controls, we respond evenly. We bid 5 no trump. We would use this with any of the methods. That would be regular Blackwood, 1430, 0314, whatever have you. Okay, with a useful void and an odd number, then we bid oddly. That is, we bid at the 6th level in the suit where we do have the void. The suit that is below the agreed upon suit. I suppose if it was we're in hearts and you have a void in spades, and you bid 6 hearts and let your partner figure out where that void is, i.e. the spade suit. Okay? And now, if you're playing 1430 or RKC methods, ensure the agreement on RKC or straight Blackwood responses, right? So once again, when you're playing these methods, be sure that you have agreements on what the responses are, whether or not they're RKC or Blackwood methods. We talked about that in the exclusion case. After an exclusion bid, is the first step 0 and the next step 1 Blackwood, or is the first step 1 or 4, the next step 3 or 0 if you're playing 1430? Well, okay, your head's probably swimming on some of these last ones, but we wanted to at least cover them, and who knows, maybe you are familiar with most of them and just have a couple things to brush up with your partner. Fine, but let's go ahead at this point and start taking a look at our survey and seeing how we do. See what the survey says. We have 15 questions and a lot of interesting responses from you, which we'll cover also. So, see you over there taking a look at the surveys. Here we go.